Guess what? If you live in Norway, you've already used a product we built, but never knew it. The 99X Group has established itself as a leader in product engineering services, web solutions, and sourcing tech experts. We have built a solid foundation, and now 7 companies from Norway, Sri Lanka, Malaysia, Brazil, and Portugal combine to form a tech powerhouse. The 99X Group serves clients in Norway, Sweden, Germany, across Europe, and North America. With over 600 employees worldwide, we are set to become one of the industry's most sought-after tech players. What sets us apart is our combination of local presence, global access to talent, and proven capability of delivering value with multinational teams. We attract the top 1% of tech talent with a passion for deep tech innovation. This enables our customers to create exceptional product experiences, to rapidly scale their own teams with top-tier local and nearshore engineering talent, and to build appealing web solutions and business-critical systems.
"99X. Boost your digital potential."
Tarana, you are on mute.
Sorry. So, good evening, everyone. Welcome to day 3 of Quality Week 2025. Over the past 2 days, we had fantastic discussions on software testing, automation, and quality engineering. So, today we continue our journey with more insightful talks from industry experts. Before we start, we would like to take a moment to recognize and appreciate our valued sponsors who help make this event possible. First, a big thank to you, 99X, our strategic partner. 99X is a leader in digital product engineering, empowering business with innovative solutions and cutting-edge technology. We also extend our gratitude to our educational partner, SLSTB, the globally recognized authority in software testing certification. Their commitment to quality and excellence helps shape the future of software professionals worldwide. Without further ado, let's start with our first session. It is my pleasure to introduce our first speaker, Mihiri Lekamge, an associate QA architect at 99X. With over 15 years of experience in software testing and quality assurance, Mihiri has built a successful career collaborating with European offshore teams. Her expertise spans test planning, test strategy implementation, functional test design, and test environment design and management. As a seasoned team leader, she excels in managing diverse teams and ensuring seamless software delivery. Known for a strategic mindset and a hands-on approach, she is dedicated to driving innovation in software delivery and testing processes. So today, she will be sharing her insights on the strategic role of exploratory testing in continuous delivery. Ladies and gentlemen, let's welcome Miri.
Yes, thank you, Dharna, for your kind words. And very good evening again, ladies and gentlemen. It's a pleasure to have you all making this event a success. So, yeah, let me share my screen. Yes, I guess you all could see the screen.
Yeah, we can see the screen.
Yeah. Yes, it's that quest of finding the balance between the relevance of manual or let's say the exploratory testing in the era of AI. So yeah, imagine you are about to board a deep sea submarine and you are told it's built with cutting edge technology and highly automated. Everything has been simulated, the systems and everything, and working perfectly. But no one has actually tested it at a full depth manually. Would you like still step inside? In June 2023, actually 5 people did. The Titan submersible, if you can remember, is designed to explore the Titanic shipwreck, tragically imploded due to structural failures, and it wasn't officially tested at the extreme depth it was meant to survive. So the Titan creators relied heavily on the models and simulations. They believed that the design was sound because their automated checks were all test passed. But the deep sea, like ocean, only responds to real world forces. So even though the expert has warned that without rigorous real world testing, the sub might not survive, those warnings were ignored. So this tragedy is actually a harsh reminder for us that not for us, I mean everybody, that the testing isn't just a formality, it's a necessity. And in real world exploratory testing where humans, as long as these systems are used by humans, they explore, observe and challenge assumptions. So it often what stands between the success and the disaster. So just like in the engineering, we rely on automation to check our software systems as well. But the question is that enough? Can it truly capture every risk, all the edge cases, and the unpredictable scenarios? But the reality, we know the reality. Uh, these our software systems also operates in unpredictable environments. We cannot predict our users always follow the happy path, and all the systems interact in a way that we predict previously. So, and this is where this exploratory testing comes into the scene. So it uncovers the unknown and the risk automation might miss. So today, let's explore why this exploratory testing is not just an old school practice, it's a necessity in the modern software deliveries. So, yeah, think about a time when you encountered a frustrating bug, perhaps app crashed before confirming a payment or an event reminder appeared at the wrong time. And imagine we are the responsible engineer for that feature or that scenario or whatever. Like, can you feel the tension? And this is why the exploratory testing matters in continuous delivery. Uh, let's think about how traditional testing models operate. They rely heavily on pre-scripted test cases. We all know that, uh, which work well in environments where changes are infrequent and requirements are stable. But in continuous delivery, we are dealing something completely different. The software is constantly evolving. The new features, updates, changes, feedback cycles, they are continuous. It's a never-ending cycle. The traditional model struggles here because they assume the static predictable system. Bugs in continuous delivery environments often arise from the edge cases, or and let's say the in complex integrations or unexpected user behaviors or that scripted test simply cannot predict. Uh, like what I want to put your focus is that continuous delivery demands agility and adaptability. Testing needs to be as dynamic as software itself, which is why the traditional models can't keep up. So the exploratory testing actually uh, acting as a safety net for these unpredictable bugs. Yeah, let me take you through a real example of my day-to-day life as a tester. So I have been testing these CRM applications for a long time, too long actually. They are widely used by business offers a calendar feature to schedule meetings and events. So this feature allows user across the different time zones to collaborate seamlessly. However, some users report that their meetings appear at incorrect times when syncing with the external calendar applications such as Google Calendar or Outlook. This actually affects the user experience and their productivity as well. So the challenge was that actually the bug was intermittent and it's very context specific. It doesn't occur for all users in all scenarios. So the traditional testing approaches and the automation which we relied miss this issue because our test cases could not dynamically simulate various time zones, and automation scripts assume uniform behavior across all the integrations. So the approach that we followed was this dynamic charter creation. Uh, the testing team crafts charters focusing on time zone specific scenarios. For example, like what happens when a user creates a recurring meeting on one time zone and invites someone in another time zone? And how does the calendar handle daylight saving time changes? Does the system behave consistently when users device time and the system time different? So, and then we try to simulate real world scenarios, adjust the system clock to simulate the different time zones, and we use VPNs or some local settings mimicking the geographical differences, and syncing the CRM calendar with the external calendars to observe the integration behaviors. And then we also collaborate with the support team to analyze the historical bugs and the logs. This actually gives us the insight to guide the exploratory sessions. And yeah, so through the exploratory testing, we discovered that time zone bug occurs when users sync meetings created in daylight saving zones with non-daylight saving regions. It's a minor discrepancy in the time zone. Offset calculation leads to the incorrect meeting times in external applications. So the key insight here was that the exploratory testing not only find the bugs but also uncovers its root cause, some things which scripted testing couldn't achieve. It leveraged the dynamic scenarios that mimic real world usage, like ensuring the robust issue detection and probably the root cause even. Yes, this is the fix. The developers adjust the algorithm for time zone conversions. And yes, so let's imagine how a detective might solve a mystery. Like they don't follow a script, they adapt, ask questions, and connect things dynamically. And this is how these exploratory testers operate as well, the mindset of them. Uh, they use heuristics, mental shortcuts like few hiccups to find those elusive bugs. Mind maps and scenario slicing are some other interesting technique as well. So I will go through each one of them with the actual scenarios, so you will feel it like more real. Yes, so this few hiccups heuristic is a useful exploratory technique that help testers to identify different types of problems in a system. So let's imagine like you are a first time user opening a new app you have just downloaded, and then you are expecting the login button to be at the bottom of the screen. It was always there usually, but instead it's tucked away in a corner. You pause confused and wondering like, am I doing something wrong? This tiny moment of uh, disorientation is where familiarity comes into play. You know, the users expect features to behave in way they recognize. So now if we take a job of a tester, it's not just about finding bugs. It's about the walking the user's path, catching every hiccup before it trips them up, the users. So that's where this model like few hiccups becomes tester's guide. So I will break down each letter represents what. So let's start with the few. F for familiarity. So does the feature behave like user would expect it to? Familiarity builds trust. So the moment they hesitate or question, you have lost a little bit of trust, right? And then the explainability, E for explainability. Can you logically explain why this feature works the way it does, right? If you are stumbling, the user probably will too. And then W for the workflow. Does the feature fit seamlessly into the larger picture? Testing is not about just uh, checking the isolated pieces of the software. It's about understanding how they fit together and like just like ensuring each cog in the machine turns perfectly. So, but yeah, we can't stop there. Like in real life, software, and we live in a messy, dynamic environment. So that's why we have hiccups. It's a it's we can consider it as a lens to magnify the potential inconsistencies and edge cases. So yeah, history. Does the feature work well with the legacy data or past behaviors? And the inconsistency. Are there mismatches in functionality or the presentation? Configuration. Can the feature adapt to different setups or environments, different backend changes? The comparison. How does it stack up against the similar features or competitors? And the user expectations. Does it meet what users truly want? And the purpose. Does the feature fulfill its intended purpose clearly and efficiently? And finally, the standards. Does it align with the industry benchmarks or organizational policies? Yeah, think of these few hiccups as this army knife. I hope you all know are familiar with the this tool. So it's compact, versatile, and ready to tackle anything from obvious issues to most unexpected quicks. So whether you are testing mobile app or enterprise system or brand new feature, this heuristics uh, can come in handy. So it's not just a testing model. It's a way to connect deeply with the user experience by guiding our exploratory testing with this principle. We as testers, we are not just finding errors. We are like crafting the software that feels intuitive, logical, and empowering. So next time when we approach testing, remember that every test isn't just about finding what's broken. It's about that imagining how users will feel when it works flawlessly, right? So because when software works as users expect, it's not just functional, it's a magical feeling and experience. So yeah, let's try with the real life example. This might take a little bit of time. Yeah. Uh, Yes, this is the scenario that we had to experience. I guess you could read it. Yeah, let's apply the model. Familiarity. So does the feature behave as the user expect? For example, now the sales team expect quotations of the CRM system to show consistent total regardless of the currency. However, the discrepancies arises when the decimal rounding differs between the display and the calculation logic, right? So the exploratory action we took was we simulate the currency conversions with high decimal precision, like for example from USDs to euros, and validate total across the US and exported the PDFs. Expandability. Can the system behavior be logically explained to users, right? So let's say a quotation shows that 1,000 euros on screen, but 9,900.99 euros in the exported PDF document. So it's confusing, obviously, right? So lack of error messaging. So the exploratory action we took was we explore the scenarios with high precision values and assesses how these discrepancies are communicated to the users. Workflow. Does the workflow of the actions align with the intended user journey? The example was the salespeople creates a quotation in US dollars, but need to switch to Great Britain pounds for the client. But the system doesn't update the totals properly, disrupting the workflow. So the exploratory action was that the testers dynamically change currencies in the middle of the creating the quotation, and monitor the recalculations across the feed, like taxes, discounts, and subtotals and things like that. And next, the history. Does the system handle historical data appropriately? The example was like, let's say the old quote or quotation created in the system is reopened after a currency exchange rate update, right? And the system fails to retain the original totals, which cause obvious confusion among users. So the action was that testers modify the exchange rates uh, in post quotation creation, and we observe that how this is historical data is displayed and recalculated. Inconsistency. So there any inconsistencies in behavior across the feature or the environments? Here what we had to experience was that the currency symbols. Currency symbols in exported PDFs differ from the symbols used in the app, US dollars versus euros. So the exploratory action was that we compare the currency formats and symbols across the applications, UI, APIs, and exported documents to identify all the discrepancies we found. Configuration. Does the system handle configuration changes effectively? So the example was that one of the companies updated its pricing rules to include tiered discounts for specific currencies. Uh, but the application, the CRM, applies incorrect discounts. So the corrective action or the exploratory action was that we modify the pricing configurations dynamically and test the impact on live quotation in multiple currencies. Comparison. How does the system behavior compare across different use cases or platforms? So the example was that quotations created on web app calculate discounts differently from those created on mobile app. So the action was that we create identical quotations across all the platforms and comparing all the values like totals, discounts, and the formatting, and everything. And the user expectations. Does the system meet user expectations for accuracy and reliability? Obviously, the expectation was that consistent pricing and total, regardless of the currency or the document format, whatever, right? So our action was that we validate pricing logic by comparing totals for various currencies, ensuring they align with all the user expectation with among all the platforms. Yes, the purpose. Does the feature fulfill its intended purpose? The purpose of the sales module is to provide accurate professional quotations that improve the confidence of the clients. Formatting issues exported in PDFs obviously undermine this goal. So the action was that we assess the whether the PDF meet the business standards for presentation and accuracy and the professionalism and the standards. Does this feature align with the industry standards and best practices? Like currency formatting doesn't align with the regional standards. Like so, example like 100 euros in Europe versus $100 in US. So we evaluate the formatting against the regional conventions and ensure the CRM adheres to the global best practices. So these were the findings. Yes, it had an impact actually. It actually enhanced the trust in the sales processes and the faster approvals improve the professional quotations and we actually got reduced number of tickets related to pricing errors. Yes, mind maps. So let's just go to a moment where I all experience like imagine we are planning a road trip and when we start thinking about the destination, they are like it's not a straight line. It's basically a web of possibilities. Like we can't draw a line directly to the destination. So this is exactly how we approach testing with the mind maps. Uh, Actually, these mind maps are like those brainstorming sessions that you have planning your perfect trip, right? So mind maps helps testers to visualize. By visualizing the paths, we don't just test the product. We understand it, and in that understanding, we find these edge cases, the unexpected twists, and the moments where things could go wrong. Like it's like a spider's web. Like every thread has been interconnected, and every movement affecting the whole picture. Uh, when you create that mind map to guide to testing, we are not no just like no longer just searching for bugs. We are exploring the entire system, seeing the complete software as a whole, and finding insights that linear thinking uh, might miss. Uh, so yeah, because with mind maps, we are not just thinking outside the box. We are redrawing the entire box and stepping into this dynamic and interconnected world of software, which enables us to uncover the possibilities, right? So because this testing isn't just about fixing problems, it's about discovering the paths that no one else thought to take. So yeah, let's dig into this a little bit more. Like I'm not sure, yeah, the time, yeah. That why they play such a huge role in exploratory testing. Like the first thing was the visualization. Visualization plays a major role when it comes to no linear workflows. In non-linear workflows, testing isn't a straight path, right? features interact in unexpected ways, and the dependencies can make unforeseen bugs. And so the visualization through the mind maps helps us testers to see this big picture and all the possible branches in a complex system. Like if I have a lot of examples, but I just take one. Like if we take this, I'm sure everybody, all of you using this Spotify, the music playback feature. So a nonlinear workflow might include like user plays a song on their mobile app, the you syncs with their smart speaker, and user might switch off offline mode in mid playback. But in the meanwhile, app attempts to download new songs in the background, focusing on like high risk areas without missing the details. Mind maps allows testers to identify and prioritize these high risk areas, right? So let's take the Spotify example, right? So the high risk areas might include the device compatibility, testing the playback on different devices like smartphone, web, or the car systems, and the network conditions, and the cross-platform sync, like how does song progress sync correctly between different devices of the same user, right? And the collaboration between the testers and stakeholders. These mind maps are not just for testers, they serve as a communication tool between all the stakeholders engaged with the software development and delivery. And they like they can highlight what are the priorities and insights, and that could be input for us to redefine our testing strategies and the way we plan to test. So the benefit is actually the mind maps, they bridge the gap between technical and non-technical stakeholders, ensuring that everyone has a shared understanding of what's need to be tested, priorities, and progressing of the test. So this collaboration actually reduces the gaps in testing, and it increases the confidence in future releases. Yes. The other technique, the scenario slicing. Let's imagine you get a piece of furniture with thousands of tiny screws and parts. It is like it's very overwhelming experience, right? Like where do I even start? So let's like that's the essence of scenario slicing. Let's tackle this thing step by step, right? So it's basically simplifying the complex. It's breaking down that complex uh, scenarios into manageable steps. It's a massive workflow that kind that makes our head spin, and it divides into smaller, testable pieces. Each slice represents a focus scenario where you can explore variations and isolate risks and ensure that nothing was overlooked. And how it helps, like have we like do we even have the time or to get the big picture of the testing? When the entire system feels like one massive puzzle, it's easy to lose the sight of the details, right? So but the scenario slicing changes the whole game. By testing these slices independently, we reduce the the cognitive load we are having, and it allows the testers to focus on high risk and variability. Uh, but the magical part of it is that while we are working on these smaller slices, we are still maintaining the holistic coverage of the entire system. So uh, it's like that creating a movie, right? The director, like, he doesn't shoot entire film in one take. He break into several small pieces and then focusing on each and everything, and then keep the entire story in mind. Similarly, right? So when next time when you face a complex system or complex scenario to test, always remember that we don't need to tackle all at once. Break it down, slices, dive deep into each part, and knowing that together, those slices create a complete, seamless whole system. It's actually the mastering the complexity in one slice at a time. Yes. So yeah, yeah, CD integration with the CD. So in this fast-paced world of continuous delivery, where the releases go out daily or even hourly, like how do we ensure quality without slowing down the innovation? And the answer actually lies in the rethinking where and how we test. And that's where this exploratory testing becomes a game changer, right? So when we talk about integrating exploratory testing into CI/CD pipelines, we are not just adding another checkbox or to our workflow. We are embedding the mindset that agile, adaptive, and focused on uncovering the unexpected. Exploratory testing isn't just here to replace automation; it's here to complement the automation by capturing what automation often misses, and those like the elusive edge cases that only human intuition could catch. So where it fits, right? So is it like it's not about like choosing between the shift right or left. It's about like basically doing the both, right? So in pre-release, during the staging phase, exploratory testing focuses on high variability scenarios and customer or business critical scenarios or workflows. In post reveals, it evolves. It works hand in hand with the monitoring tools like data log to track anomalies in real time, transforming production data into actionable insights. So let's say in Google, they use error logs from post deployments to guide exploratory testing charters. By analyzing those anomalies, there are testers like uncover hidden patterns and then create highly targeted charters to investigate these issues. So these examples just they are not just success stories. They are the proof that exploratory testing, when integrated thoughtfully, becomes a vital part of delivering the quality software. So because in a world where like the speed is everything, it's not just about delivering software fast. It's about delivering it right. Uh, yeah, but then But even if we talk about these things so much, like how do we actually know if we are truly making an impact, measuring, making an impact, right? So it is essential to measure the success. Uh, so here's the challenge: when like the exploratory testing isn't like scripted, it's not a rigid process. So it thrives on creativity, adaptability, agility, and uncovering the unknown. So how do we measure something so dynamic? The answer actually lies in the key matrices that exploratory testing is having this impact. It's not just on bugs, but it's in the business itself. Uh, so the first metric was the exploratory test coverage. This is about the mapping historical defect trends to exploratory charters. By focusing on areas where most issues occurred, we could ensure that our testing isn't random, right? So it's targeted, deliberated, and impactful. And the exploratory bug ratio. This metric compares the bugs found through exploratory testing versus automation. Let's say that when the 30% of our critical bugs come from the exploratory testing, we know we are addressing the gaps between automation leaves behind, right, guys? So, and the business impact matrices, like not all bugs are created equal. This metric actually evaluates the severity of issues uncovered. Like, did we catch the high severity bugs, the ones that impact users and the business most? Time to insight. How quickly can we uncover the critical issues during a session, during the exploratory testing session? It's not about the speed, it's about the efficiency and the precision of the testing we follow. Yeah, why actually the metrics matter in big picture? The matrices, they just don't give us the numbers. They give us the confidence, and they show us actually we are succeeding and where we need to improve, and like how exploratory testing complements the rest of our testing strategies. Mm, right? So when, like, next time someone asks how do we measure success in the exploratory testing, remember that it's not just about counting bugs. It's about the measuring the insights, the impact, and the confidence we bring into the table. Yes, I'm sure you will doubt if I didn't touch this buzzing trend these days. Yeah. uh, yeah, this AI. So the what actually the magic happens when we integrate the AI into our testing is that uh, we don't need to uh, panic or whatever, because these tools are not to replace testers. They are actually here to amplify our capabilities. That's how I see it. So they actually do few things incredibly well. These AI tools, they could suggest test scenarios, and they can analyze patterns, look for trends and anomalies, and indicate potential issues. And they could generate test data and scripts which we might take hours to create, right? So I'm not going to describe a lot of examples here. So what I wanted to emphasize is that AI doesn't replace the creativity and the intuition of the human testers. It actually enhances it. So AI is like having a superpower assistant, right? So that handles all the what do you call, the cumbersome work, and leaving us free to focus on the more innovative and exploratory and the unexpected. Yes, the future of the exploratory testing, this is actually a never-ending loop, right? At Uber, this is already happening, and their observability tools provide real-time insights into the system behaviors, and when like anomalies arise, let's say like unexpected ride requests in a specific area. So then these exploratory testers jump in to validate assumptions and uncover bugs, right? So in like exploratory testing, like the testers could simulate the live scenarios. They could uncovering the faulty route optimization algorithms, right? So the future would be the continuous exploratory testing, guided by these observability and real world feedback. The line between testing and production blurs, creating system that user needs, right? Uh, yes, that would be the end of it. Uh, Thank you very much for your. I'm going to stop the sharing. Yeah, thank you very much for your undivided attention, and have a brilliant day ahead. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mihiri, for that insightful session. We can see that there are a couple of questions in the chat, but due to the time restrictions, I'm afraid we might have to reply to them in the chat
Yeah,
without going through them live. So it would be really great if you could go through the questions and reply them in the chat.
yeah, sure.
And
I'll check. I'll check.
yeah, thank you again so much for your session.
No problem. Thanks.
Yeah. So next we have another exciting session by Alistair Goodall, Test Manager at Chetwood Bank. Alistair has been working for over 20 years in the software quality space. He has worked on major projects in the workforce management and finance areas. Outside of work, Al enjoys running and collecting first edition books, a truly fascinating hobby. Today, he will be taking on the topic getting to know your company. So, over to you, Al.
Thank you very much. Okay, let's just where are we? Share. Okay. Perfect. Right, great stuff. Right. So, and let's just share that. Okay, fantastic. So, hi everybody. Welcome to my talk about getting to know your company. Awesome. So let's get this show on the right. I appreciate time is tight. So a little bit about me. Thank you very much to Madrana for the introduction. So I'm a quality manager leader. I've been testing software for over 20 years on a variety of platforms, and I really love helping teams on how we can test better. So there we are. There's the first edition books. They're all hardbacks of various different vintages. So we have the likes of The Hunt for Red October by Tom Clancy. For those of you that have seen the film, Tinker Tailor Soldier Spy. It was a very old book written by John le Carre. Very good and well loved. And of course, Firefox by Craig Thomas, which interestingly is as old as I am. That was first written in 1977. There we go. So a guilty lockdown secret about me is that I like to build tanks, Lego ones. So you can see here, this is a small sample of the collection that I have put together. They're sat above me just up there. So there we are. They are, as you can see, they are in very much need of being cleaned. So there we go. Awesome. So a little by way of introduction in regards to the talk. So you're going to hear about how I got to know my new company, and there's a little bit of a spoiler alert in there. So first of all, why does this matter? Why should you listen to this talk? Why should you take anything away from it and take it to your context? You're going to hear a little bit about me and my story about how I did, how I went around it, and then there's some little tidbits about how you can get to know your company better. Awesome. So let's get into it. Why does this matter? So I put it into a few areas. And the first area is let's get to it. Our job is to test software. So how do we build? We can find out more information. We get to build better tests. This is true. We can also find out about what's important to other areas of the business. We get to find out, we could also find out about usage and processes. So in my new banking environment, of course, the customers that I work with are both internal and external. I've got customers and internal customers. They have different needs. They need to see different things. Usage and processes in regards to internal banking structures, or even internal payroll structures, if you happen to be working for a payroll provider, are important. But understanding how the software is going to be used, what its usage is, and also what do they find painful. So you can find out in a variety of different ways, but this allows you to broaden your quality, your view of quality within the within your ecosystem by considering things and positioning quality and especially testing in a way that it helps the business. And I think that's something that we'll come back to. So, which is testing and quality is a force for good. So we're here to help, not hinder. And of course, we contribute to company OKRs. That's objective key results, by the way. So what does the company want to achieve in a year? So on that note, let's have a look at my story. So last year, in about a couple of months, I changed jobs. And I went from a workforce management domain through to a completely different domain, working for a bank. So I'm in a completely new domain. I don't know how many people switch jobs regularly or not regularly and or change domains, but it's an exciting time. It's something new. Let's see what happens. So there's lots to learn. I've got a new team and new stakeholders. I've got all new processes, and there are domain rules. For example, I'm in a regulated environment now. There are certain rules and consequences for working in a regulated environment. So I've got lots to learn here. So what did I do? Well, the first thing I did was I got to know my team. Now, that's not just the other testers I was working with. That's also the delivery lead, the delivery manager, the product owners, leadership, and other people who are contributing towards the delivery of the initiatives that we're working on. And it's not just a case of, so what is it you do? How is it you operate? But it's also getting to know them at a personal level. And it really does help. So I took the time to get to know my direct line reports, their partners' names, so that when it came to Christmas card writing time, I got to write their name and their partner's name rather than the rather generic at family. So it's important. It's providing a personal touch is really quite useful, and it allows you to connect with people. And the second thing I did was actually to show by doing. So I wrote test approaches. I tested where others weren't. So I found what the current sort of scope of testing looked like, and I went and tested in the beyond bit to show end-to-end flows. I communicated with those implementing to show what it was that I was coming up with, and I showed a bigger picture of the full solution rather than just one aspect of it. And that's important because you're not just delivering little bits, you're delivering a full solution. So it's building up that picture, showing that there's inputs and outputs and other such things sat around that are, that are important. And most importantly, and I can't stress this enough, I was humble about how I did it. I did not go in and say, my way is better than your way. You have to listen to me. I evidenced stuff. I was humble about my approach because I might not necessarily have all the right questions in order to get the answers that I really needed. So that's important. Also, as I said, got to learn the business, right? What's important to the business? What does success look like? And then starting to feed into that, how can testing help? And that matters, because testing can sometimes be a bit, what's the word, behind the scenes. You're just another cog in engineering's wheel. Quality has its own voice and its own context, and it's important to share that. I also asked when I didn't know. So, being new, this happened a lot for me. Like, I didn't know a lot of things, but I got to be brave. I got to find out by putting my hand up and asking the question. I got to find out what was important to the business. I got to find out about things that I wouldn't necessarily have known. I basically got to be the stupid person in the room. So I asked when I didn't know. And even if you aren't new to your company, let's say you've been in post for a year or two, there are probably still things that you might not know. So it's always worth asking the question and being the person to ask, what about that? How does this link to that? How can I find out more about that? Do we know what goes on in this area, etc.? It's quite a useful. People always talk about QA as quality analysis, a quality assurance. Question asker. Be the person to ask the question. So, what benefits does this bring? So, obviously, we get better tests. We get increased visibility. We get trust by showing that we're doing better work, helping deliver faster, helping deliver to a high level of quality. We trust a bit more, and you get to build up a network of allies that view your stuff in the same way. They see what you're doing and want to be a part of it. And just to give you an idea about what that looked like, I reached out to my stakeholders from the wider business, and I asked the question about, so what sort of items of feedback have you got? And I'm going to share a few things before I move on to closure and questions. So I think it's quite powerful, which is the following. So having an engaged tester was essential, and they become a key source of knowledge throughout testing, ensuring a thorough and informed approach. So this came out from UAT, where the rest of the business actually needs to make sure that it works. And me, as the test manager in here, is helping them through that process and making it easy for them, that if they have questions, we can find out how to solve their problems or raise any concerns that they have by way of mitigation. So that's an important one. So I'll try not to read all of this, but it's important that we make stuff understandable for people who aren't involved in testing, or who actually aren't really technical people. They're business people within their domain. But I think this is an important one about that ties into finding a quality language of the people that you engage with about how they view working software or not working software. And this is it. It's about making complicated stuff fun and understandable, and making it fun. I think this is an interesting point about people won't engage with stuff unless it's fun, because you've all been on a meeting and you're hearing stuff and it's just somebody reading off a set of slides. You switch off. By making stuff fun and engaging, you're likely to get stimulating conversations about what the software is doing, Could it be doing it better? Is it giving us the right output? All of that good stuff. It's important. And also, as I said, being there for questions, being visible and being a point of contact for questions and scenarios and making it understandable. If people don't understand it, they don't trust it. I mean, you could talk, and that goes for anything really. Processes, automation frameworks, whatever. People don't understand it, they don't trust it. So when we're getting to know our business and you're trying to have those conversations, make what you're doing understandable and relatable to the people that you're talking to. Which brings me nicely on to some points in summary for you, hopefully your takeaways. So the first thing I suggest you do is build up your contacts, network, find allies throughout your business, within your department, outside your department, with the people in finance, with the secretary, or the receptionist. Build up these contacts. It helps massively in your visibility and in how you present across what it is you're doing. If you hide, people you won't be considered kind of, you'll get, I'm not necessarily saying ignored, but it's easier to have a voice if you're visible and you're building up contacts and people know who you are and know what it is you're trying to do, and you're making all this good stuff relatable and understandable. Second thing I say is apply what you find out to your testing. So when you're going out and you're having conversation with stakeholders and all of this other good stuff, and let's say you find out about a process or a part of the system that you didn't necessarily know about, but part of the business is using, or a customer is using, bring that knowledge in, build tests around it, and expand the coverage. That'll go a long way towards avoiding issues that you didn't necessarily know about. Now, you could do this through deterministic stuff. You could use it exploratory. It doesn't matter. But apply what you find out to your testing. Thirdly, I've said it, but I'll say it again. Ask questions. It matters. Your questions matter because they will help you find out about how the software works. If it's best done in a 3 Amigos session or other kind of refinement meeting, awesome. But ask those questions. And the last one is be brave. Sometimes if you're in a team and there's a lot of you, sometimes it's difficult to be heard. I know, I've been there. Sometimes it's okay to ask your questions because if you're asking it, you never know, there may be somebody else in that room who also is silently hoping that somebody else will ask the same thing, and because they don't know either. So sometimes being brave and being the person to put their hand up and ask that question is really important. So okay, but Al, I'm not new to my company. Does it still apply? In short, yes. There is always something new to learn. There is always people that you might not have engaged with or are new to the company. Maybe you've had other people like consultants or sales have had a bit of a change around and they're occupying new positions. Everything I've said still applies, even in a situation where you're already established. If anything, actually, it helps you build your knowledge base in your tenure by actually doing these things as well. So it absolutely applies. So 3 things for you. So once I'm back at work, what 3 things could you do straight away? Okay. So number 1, which department do you know the least amount and reach out to them? What do they do? Do they use your software? Are they a consumer of the reports that your software generates? Do they have a say in what your product looks like or does? Find out and bring that knowledge back into your testing. Second thing, add business processes to your test. So if there's certain business processes like hard stops or a payroll process or a certain kind of a process that isn't being currently tested, bring that in. Start to test that. Increase your coverage and what it is you're testing that way. And thirdly, involve your end users to see your tests and get their feedback. So your end user could be your product owner, it could be your product manager, it could be other consumers of the software that you're working on within the business. You could always do a witness system test with a customer if that's your context. But get their feedback on what it is you're testing and incorporate that. So that's the end of our talk. If you want to reach out to me, you can find me on this plethora of social media accounts. I've got a test portfolio. If you want to take a look at that, you can find me on Blue Sky, LinkedIn, and there's my blog on WordPress. Thank you so very much.
Yeah, thank you so much, Al, for that eye-opening session. So I think everybody understood really well how software quality ties into the business success. So I can see we have a couple of questions in the chat for you, Al. So I'll go through the questions and I think you can answer them. So
Of course.
Yeah. So the first question would be, how long do you think manual or automation testing career will last with AI and the skills to survive?
I think they'll continue to dovetail. I think remember that software eventually is created for humans. It's humans to use, not for software, not for machines to use. So I think the human element is always going to be there.
Okay. So the next question is, when transitioning to a completely new domain, how important is self-learning before diving into test design? And what strategies can help accelerate this learning process?
So a good question. Self-learning is important. So when I joined the bank, I started hearing about certain things and about so how do banks operate? And I went onto YouTube and I watched a lovely graphical video about fractional lending. So I won't bore people as to what fractional lending is. But anyway, fractional lending. I also found out about certain how banks generally operate, what are savings. I looked actually at my own banking usage because I am a customer of a bank. You drama are a customer of a bank, right? So it puts an interesting lens on it when I changed my domain in about what that actually. So I'm working in a domain and that I actually am a customer of. So that was an interesting one. So I think that strategy wise, yeah, sure. Do your self learning. Have a look around on social media. Have a look at what are there any interesting videos or articles that you can read about just the domain, because until you actually walk into the bank or walk it as I did, or walk into any other domain, you might not necessarily know that they like to do things slightly differently. So I very much would suggest that. I would also suggest a program of reflecting in self-reflection to accelerate your learning. It goes, what do you know about? What don't you know about? And plan what you want to find out about next. I work in the savings domain, so I've got to find out. I had to find. So, what's the difference, for example, between an instant access savings account and an easy access savings account? And there is a subtle difference between the two, which have regulatory connotations. So, this is a period of self-reflection and finding out what's the difference, why is it different, what makes them different. Challenge yourself, challenge your assumptions, and keep asking those questions of other people, but also of yourself. What do I know? What do I need to know?
Okay, I think we have another question related to your company. So it is about how does your company encourage collaboration between QA, developers, and product teams?
By working closely together. We have business analysts. Our business analysts bring the solutions in, bring the requirements in. We have open and engaging conversations between development testers and BAs and the rest of the product. If you have a question, it's encouraged to ask.
All right. So we have one more final question. So it is, how do you overcome the fear of whether a new place will be worse or good? Yeah.
Wow. So there is a leap of faith to be taken here. Let's assume, I mean, we're going, crikey, rewinding back to. So you've done your interviews, you've accepted your offer, you're gonna join, and you don't know how it's gonna be. I think there's a bit of, you've got to take some stuff on faith. And sometimes I really do mean this, that you only get out what you put in. So if you go in with your fingers crossed and you're kind of like half trying, not half trying, you're not really giving it a go. And I think sometimes you've got to give it a go. Let's be clear, no place is perfect. Okay? No place is perfect. I think the important thing here is you've got to give it, you've got to take the leap of faith. You've accepted the offer, you're gonna go in, right? Otherwise you're gonna be out of a job. So if you suddenly turn around and go, oh, actually I don't want to do it, you're suddenly gonna find yourself jobless. So you've accepted, you're on your way in. Be positive, try and adopt a positive mindset. Be humble about it. You're not gonna know a lot. So it's just bridging that gap between where you are and where you want to be, and just go for it.
All right. I think those are the questions for today. So
Thank you
thank
very
you
much.
so much, Al, for sharing your experience and giving the insights regarding this the new domain. So I think it was really helpful, and thank you again for sharing your experience.
Thank you very much.
So, ladies and gentlemen, before moving on to the next session, we have a small announcement. So, we have shared 2 links for the feedbacks for regarding the sessions we had yesterday and the day before. So, it would be really great if you could spend a couple of minutes and give a feedback regarding the previous days. And also, we will be sharing a link at the end of today's session to give your feedbacks about the today's session. So, it would be really helpful if you guys can give a small feedback so that we can improve our sessions. Yeah. So now it is time for our final speaker of the day, Dushan Bhagya, QA lead at CodeGen. So Dushan is a QA lead with over 8 years of experience in the QA industry. He began his career as a QA automation engineer and have been instrumental in developing front-end and back-end automation frameworks, including innovations in CodeGen. Dushan is passionate about mentoring and training QA professionals and university students through engaging sessions on automation technologies. His expertise lies in front-end and back-end automation, driving innovation in QA process, and fostering a culture of knowledge sharing and leadership in the automation domain. Today, he will be speaking on test automation tools and skills. So let's welcome Dushan. Over to you.
Yeah, thank you, Dharana. Let me share my screen first. Hope all of you can see my screen, right?
Yeah, Dushan, it's visible.
Okay. Okay, and so Dharana give a brief introduction about myself. So I have around 8 years of experience in the industry, especially in the test automation field. So I like to share my knowledge with you in this session. So throughout the session, I would like to discuss with you about basic introduction about the test automation and importance of the test automation and the core test automation tools and skills that you need to be a good automation engineer. And under the emerging trends and AI in automation, I will talk about autonomous testing a little bit deeply. So that is very important part in my session, I think. And then we will move to some Q&As. So when we consider about the automation, earlier we define it as automating test cases is the test automation. But nowadays we have to consider about more fields when we trying to give a definition for the test automation. So we have to consider about our QA assurance field, quality assurance field. Then we have to improve the reliability by using the test automation. Then the test accuracy improvement we have to do. And by using specialized software tools, we have to create test script. And we are doing these things to reduce the manual effort. And then we can accelerate the development life cycle and the performance. Then ultimately we can deliver a good quality product to the customer. That is the purpose and the component of the test automation. By considering this component, we can give a definition like this. So test automation is the process of using specialized software tools and script to execute tests on software application automatically, with the goals of reducing manual effort and improving test accuracy and accelerating the software development lifecycle. And it helps to ensure reliability, performance, and quality of the software by integrating testing into continuous integration and delivery pipelines. So this is some sort of complete definition for the test automation. So we'll move to the next one. That is the most important, one of the most important thing. What are the skills that you want to improve if you want to be a good automation engineer? So mainly programming skills is one of the most important skills that you have to improve. Yes, there are so many codeless test automation tools, I know, but those tools have a lot of limitations. To overcome those limitations, you should have a proper programming knowledge. At the same time, you should have an awareness about the object-oriented programming, like by double OP concepts, likewise. And you should have awareness about version controlling system, how to version in software and how to version your automation project and how to commit things, how to merge things, likewise. Then you should have a proper understanding about Agile and DevOps frameworks. And then you should have awareness about automation frameworks, like what is a linear automation framework, what is a functional based automation framework, what is module based automation framework, and what are the hybrid frameworks, and what are the library-based automation frameworks, and what are the behavior data-driven frameworks, and what are the data-driven frameworks. Likewise, you should have a awareness about the automation frameworks as well. And you should have a awareness about CI/CD tools like Jenkins, GitLab. In there, you should have knowledge about how to set up a job, and how to create a job, and how to execute them, how to schedule them. Those kind of knowledge you should have. And the most important and most trending topic is nowadays prompt engineering. So you should have a proper knowledge about prompt engineering. If you have a good knowledge, and if you have a optimized prompt in your hand, you can get a very optimized and very accurate result from the LLMs. So this one also very important. So when we considering about test automation, people are consider these technical stuff much more, but they miss some very important things that are soft skills. Because I saw some of the automation framework developments, and a lot of automation projects were failed due to these lack of these soft skills. So you should have proper problem solving skills, and proper communication, and adaptability, and creativity. Those things are also important if you want to be a test automation engineer. So the next one is a very famous one, the automation tools. So a lot of you guys from the industry, so I think you know about these automation tools, and you guys are using these tools. So for the functional testing, we can use Selenium, Cypress, Playwright, and Catalan Marathonite. There are so many tools. For the API testing, we can use Postman, REST Assured, SOAP UI. And for the performance testing, you can use JMeter, Gathlin, K6, and etc. And for the CI/CD and DevOps integrations, you can use Jenkins and GitLab. So likewise. And again, the most trending one is this AI-powered testing. So you can use Testium, MABL, Functionize, and for visual testing, you can use Percy, and for self-healing mechanisms, you can use Helium. So there are so many AI-powered testing tools in the industry. So you can use them to automate your test as well. So I'm not going to describe them very deeply, because I think you guys are aware about these things, and you know about these tools. You guys are already using these tools. So I will move to the next one. And one of the important section in my topic, it is autonomous testing. So in here, you can see autonomous testing is something like automating whole QA process with minimum human involvement, or without human involvement. So our goal is to not automating test case. Rather than automating a test case, we are trying to automate whole QA process. So at that time, by using the software requirement documents or solution documents, we can we can generate test cases by using AI agents, and then we can generate test scripts as well. So by using these test cases and test script, we can automatically do the end-to-end testing as well. So by using, after doing that end-to-end testing, while running our scripts and while running our test cases, sometimes we got some issues. So there should be a self-healing mechanism to heal that scripts as well. So at that time, there should be a mechanism to identify the root causes for the issues, for the script issues, as and the assertion issues as well. If we identify the assertion issues properly, then automatically the defect detection should be happen. and there should be AI-driven defect detection system. And by using that defect detection system, so automatically the issues should be raised, and issue verification should be happen through that AI agents. So after that, test prioritization also should happen automatically with the autonomous testing. And all these steps should be under continuous learning process. So your AI agents will be learned accordingly, going through these steps. So by considering these steps, we can give a definition for the autonomous testing is something like test automation. Autonomous testing is a test automation approach where artificial intelligence and machine learning drive test creation and test execution and maintenance and analyze with minimal or no human interventions. It enables self-healing test scripts and intelligent defect detections and real-time optimization, and allowing software testing to adapt dynamical to application changes. So autonomous testing is something like that. And there are several levels of autonomous testing. So I will describe these step by step, and then you can decide with these descriptions, just check where is your company right now. So in which level in your company right now. So before moving to that one, I will share some video with you to showcase that autonomous testing is not that much of impossible one. So let me share with you. So this is a very sample application that I've created for this session by using browser use and some Python codes and with the OpenAI API. So in here you can see by giving us some simple prompt, you can automate a web application. So that means you can you don't need any code to automate right now. So this by using this simple AI agent, you can see I gave a simple prompt, and when I ask it to run that one, so automatically load the browser and identify the locators, and everything is doing by the AI agent for us. So you can see all the locators are identified properly and verifying them. And so we don't need any code right now. So cost and how many tokens we have sent, I have added some things to this one. Okay, so what I want to tell you is that this autonomous testing is not that much of impossible task with the current AI growth. So I will describe these levels right now. So for that one, I will take some example with the farming. Okay. So the first level is the manual testing, and the manual, it's just like think a farmer plants seeds, watering and harvesting everything by manually. And just like that, so we are doing every QA task in manually. Likewise, we don't use any automation in that level. We testers manually execute the test cases and validate the results. And human involvement is is the most important thing, and there no any automation involvement at that time. So that is the level 0. The next one is level 1. So that is basic tool or assisted automation, some sort of level automation. It's just like the farmers start using tools like plows and watering cans. This makes work easier, but farmers still does most of the things. Likewise, testers using automation tool to help with testing, but most of the things are doing by the testers. So in here, basic test automation scripts are created by the testers. The automation scripts, the most important thing is automation scripts are created by the testers. Tools like Selenium or any other tools, and execute predefined test cases, and still require human intervention for scripting, execution, and maintenance. So this is the level 1. And the next level is level 2. It is something like farmer is using tractors and automatic sprinklers and machine to do some works. Then the farmer still control them, so the manual involvement is still need. So just like that, AI help at this stage. AI helping with testing, but needing human guidance as well. For test execution is automated at that point, but test cases design and maintenance require human effort. But basic AI and machine learning techniques can assist in script generation and execution. And tool analyze test results and provide insights, but human testers review and validate them. So human involvement also a little bit high at that point as well in the level 2. So when we move to the level 3, it's just like a smart farming. And something like in that farming example, sensors and drones are using to check the soil and water, and things are automatically happen. But still, for the decision making and some verification things, still farmer has some involvement. Like in the automation, like in the testing, so AI-driven testing then adjusts to the changes and find defects on its own. And AI-driven test case generation and execution are happening in that level, and the self-healing test script and dynamically adjust to the UI and functional changes, and automated defect detection and logging with minimum human intervention. So testers focus on decision making rather than execution at that level. So in that level 3, normally QAs are involving for the verification things and for the decision making things, and the involvement of the manual QA level is very low, but still we need some QAs to drive this level as well. And the next one is something in the farming case is robots are coming to doing the task, like for the planting, watering, harvesting, all the things are happening automatically. So the farmers only check the reports and make the crucial decisions. Likewise, in the level 4, the AI-driven test automation is happening with the self-learning capabilities, and automated test generations, execution, and defect management also happening at that time, and test adapted based on the system behaviors, application changes, and learning from the past failures. And at that point, human oversight is required only for the critical decision making and test strategies. And the last one is the level 5. It is fully automated farming. So that means there is nothing to do to the farmers. All the thing smoothly happening in the farm. So what the farmer can, there is nothing to do by the farmer. So without doing anything, farmer can get a passive income. When we come to the testing industry, so all the things are happening from the AI based agent, and all the test case creations and test script creations and all the things are happening by the testing AI agents, and no manual involvements at that time. So that is one of the last goal of this autonomous testing. So, but in the previous farmer's case, he got a passive income. But in our case, we didn't get any passive income at that stage. If we achieve that stage, we didn't get any passive income. So that is the levels of the manual to fully autonomous testing. And next one is something the advantages of the autonomous testing. So in here you can see it is, it is very there are so many advantages in the autonomous testing: increase efficiency and speed, reduce maintenance effort, improve test coverage, yes, reducing the cost, and support scalable testing and self-learning optimization, better defect detections, and not only defect detection, the system can verify the defects and generate the reports and generate the KPI reports related to the quality field, first time pass rate, defect densities, likewise. Continuous testing and CI/CD integration also happening automatically at that time. So if you want to be if you want to build your career in automation field, you have to improve these key points. First one is you have to learn new tools, and you should have to involve with the community, and you have to build the personal branding, and you have to obtain some certificate as well, because there are some certificate in ISTQB as well. So you have to build those, you have to obtain that certifications as well. So if there is that kind of autonomous testing, why we are trying to build our career in automation field? You have a question like that. You may have a question like that. So why I'm telling thing like that? Because we have passed several eras, right? In first we have industrial era. Yeah, after that we have information technology era. So now we are in AI era. So in the industrial era, people who draws postcard lost their jobs. But those who learn drive while still using postcard secured jobs as drivers. So the way we do things will change, but services will always be needed. Those who adapt to the new changes will survive. So if you learn how to test LLMs, and if you learn how to test AI agents and how to automate them, how to build these autonomous testing systems, then you can survive in the industry within next few years. So things are changing rapidly. So what I want to tell you is always be updated. And yeah, it's time to Q&A. If you have any question, you can ask.
Yeah, thank you so much, Dushan. I think we have a couple of questions in the chat, so I will be directing them to you. So the first question would be, are there any modern approaches to running automated end-to-end tests before developers commit their code changes, ensuring early detection of issues?
Early detection of codes. So we can use that if we have proper solution documentations, and we can generate test scripts and test cases aligned with that solution documents, and then we can generate test cases and test scripts. So then we can execute them in the by pointing to the deployments. And if there are some changes, if we identify while running, we can use some self-healing mechanism to ignore those things and fix the issues.
Yeah, okay. I think the next question is about the tool you demonstrated. So,
Okay.
someone has asked whether can you share the name of the demonstrated automation tool? Can we use that to create page object classes for our automations?
Yeah, that's tool I just created for this session, and by using, so I will tell the, if you want, I will share the code, and I use browser use library, and I use some Python codes, and I need some OpenAPI key for that, OpenAI API key for that one. But if you have a good machine with GPU, and you can get a local LLM, and you can point to that LLM as well. So yes, you can generate page object models by using that tool, as well as there is another thing called small agent, and you can use that one as well to generate the POM page object models. Yes.
Okay, thank you. So the next question would be, can you provide can you provide a list of AI tools you have been using for test cases?
To generate the test
Yeah.
cases, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. There are so many tools normally we can use if you want, if you are, but some tools, when we are using some tools, we have to be careful because we have sensitive data in our site as well. No? So with the client details, we can't share some details with the publicly hosted LLMs. So if you don't have that kind of issues, you can use ChatGPT, DeepSeek, and reasoning modules likewise. And otherwise, you can use locally hosted DeepSeek LLMs, and some of the Llama LLMs. If you can hosted them locally, you can use them as well. So if you want some list of specialized tools, AI tools, I will share it later. And if you want, if you have any feasibility, you can use a custom bot in ChatGPT. So you can train that custom bot with your own requirement, and then you can use it to generate the test cases.
Okay, so there's another question. Is it possible to automate execution of test cases created for quality characteristics other than functional correctness and performance efficiency, such as compatibility and usability?
Yeah, we can use it such as compatibility and for the usability. So there are so many tools with the compatibility. So we can, the functional test cases, we can point with the there are some online platforms for that one. Currently, I'm not getting that one. So you can use, there are so many online platforms for that one. So you can do your compatibility and usability testing by using your functional test cases as well.
Okay, So one more question. Any resources to refer on prompt engineering enhancement?
Yeah, there are so many online YouTube videos and so many Udemy courses as well. So I will tell what I am doing to learn prompt engineering. So what I am doing, I'm asking some questions and it will get some correct things and not corrected things. And so finally, if I got a proper answer from the LLM, I ask from him, give me a proper prompt for this one. So to get this answer, give me a proper prompt. So that LLM give me a very optimized prompt. From that prompt, I'm learning. So what kind of prompt I have to give the next time. If I have a similar kind of question, what kind of prompt I have to give the in next time. So that's the kind of technique I'm using. So you can also follow that one, and there are a lot of resources in online, so you can learn prompt engineering.
Okay, Dushan. So thank you so much for your insightful session, and thank you so much for answering the questions. So yeah, thanks again for sharing your knowledge with our audience.
Okay, thank you. And if anyone want, you can contact me through the link. And thank you.
Okay. So, and with that, we are going to wrap up the day 3 of Quality Week 2025. So, a huge thank you to our amazing speakers, Mihiri, Alsta, and Dushan, for sharing their expertise today. Each session has given us new perspectives on exploratory testing, business awareness, and automation skills. And a big thank you to 99X, our strategic partner, for their continued support in driving innovation and excellence. And of course, SLSTB, our educational partner, for their dedication to shaping the future of software testing professionals. And of course, a massive thank you to all of you for being such an engaged audience. We hope you found today's sessions insightful and practical for your careers. So we value your opinion. So share your thoughts by filling out the feedback form and help us improve for even better experience next time. So we are looking forward to see you tomorrow for more exciting discussion. Until then, have a great evening.